Back in the day, I used to work at a radio station that was located about 25 minutes from my home. And for the first few months that I worked there, I took the same way to work every day. And it was brutal. It was the most boring part of my day. 25 minutes to work, 25 minutes home from work, the exact same scenery, the exact same way every single day. Just one of the many things that I hated about the typical, 9-to-5 day job type deal. And so one day on my way to work, I decided that I was going to mix things up a little bit. I left a little bit early and I turned on a random back road. And without a GPS, without my phone, without really any idea where I was going other than I knew the general direction that I had to head, I set off to find a new way to get to work. And that's exactly what I did. And I drove that way for a couple of weeks and then same deal. Started to get a little bit bored with it again. So I did the same thing all over again. On my way into work, left a little bit early, turned on a different random back road, and found yet another way to get to work. Now, the end result of this was that by the time I was done, I probably had about 8 different ways that I was able to get to my job. And there were a lot of different advantages to this, not the least of which was when there was something going on the main route, the way that everybody else took, I had a way to get around it. I also opened myself up to some new scenery and some places that I hadn't been, some things that I hadn't seen before, which was great. And it broke up the monotony of what was otherwise the most boring part of my day, driving into work the exact same way every single day. Now, as a firefighter, sometimes I will find myself in a situation where I have to close a road down with the fire truck due to an accident scene or a fire scene or something like that. And I'm constantly amazed by people who only know one way to get to where they gotta go. They try to drive around the fire trucks, even though we're blocking the road, because that's the only way they know how to get home, or it's the only way they know how to get to the store. They're stuck in this rut of only having one way to do things. Lots of times I have people sending me emails and asking me, Mark, how do you do voiceover? Tell me exactly what it is that you do for voiceover so that I can model that, so that I can emulate that. And that's not totally a bad thing, but I'm not convinced that it's the right question to ask. People shouldn't be asking me, Mark, how do you do voiceover? The question should be, how do I do voiceover? As in asking yourself, what's going to work for you? Just like I was able to find 8 or 9 different ways to get to work, there's more than one way to do voiceover, and one of those ways is going to be right for you. Just one example, I love to do my marketing via email and social media, but I know somebody else that may love to do cold calling. That works for them, and so they don't want to do email marketing because it doesn't work for them. Just like there are people that know how to crush it on Facebook, but don't ever want to go near Twitter, or who love to use LinkedIn, but don't have any idea how to make Facebook work for their voiceover business. There's more than one way to do it. You've got to figure out what works for you, and you've got to play to your strengths. That's how you're going to take your voiceover business to the next level.